We will complete the war which our ancestors should have won.
As you can see, this is what it looks like, a bit cleaner. Now, if you saw the little short video I did beforehand, I'm going to take you around there in a minute, show you the state of the reels, because they're filthy. The best solution is Ben's solution, is baby wipes on it. Now, we have got a couple of marks on there, but they're not on the outside, they're on the inside. The little clue here is obviously no win greater than £6. We know it was originally a £6. We've got a decal in there now for 5p underneath the old 10p one. Still a bit of grime there, I'll get it off in a bit. You just see there, and I've not cleaned any of this up yet. I've just literally just done glasswork. Just have a look. You see straight through there as well. That's the bulb holder, it must be broken, so I have to patch that in so that's black again. Yeah, and then the reels. So I'll take you around and show you the reels. So if you have a look at the reels, you can, I don't know how clear that is on camera, but they're absolutely, let's just give it a bit of, there you go, see the difference. It's just dirt, it's nothing mega. Now, I did notice when it was driving it home, one of those clips is snapped there. It's not doing any harm. The only time it's going to become an issue really is in transportation. All the reels will come out at some point. I'm going to give them a bit of a clean up, get them cleaned up. You can see the inside of the cabinet is absolutely filthy. Now, the person that bought it off very kindly, so look at this from the back. So we've got some bulbs just missing altogether, holders sat out. You know, at some point people have been in here. Yeah, so the seller, bloody cobwebs and stuff, I'll clean all them out in a bit. He gave me another power supply, which he thought was the same as that, just in case it was a power supply issue. It's almost certainly going to be main board. But he actually gave me an M1 power supply, which is very dirty. It's missing its on-off switch, but it looks very clean underneath, so I'm quite hopeful that might actually work. So that'll probably go in. Again, you can see the grime on there. See if I clean it with my... Don't know how clear that comes through, but it's filthy. So it's like all of them are going to come out at some point, and all of those are going to get cleaned down. You can do what I've just done, use basically a bit of vinegar and kitchen towel to clean them. You can use quite a lot of things. So you can use damp cloth if you want, as long as you don't damage the actual reels. And these are all seem to be free from damage, so that's good news, because obviously that's a ball ache when they're in bits. And then obviously we'll find some sort of, try and find a wiring solution for that and that. The coin mech that's in it's a 129. That was on, what was it on? I think it's old pounds, new 50p's. When we moved it, you could hear it all rattling inside, so there's money there somewhere, but it'll only be crap. I'm not that bothered about that, to be honest. Anyway, so yeah, next job, just going to get these reels cleaned. So reels have all been out and back in, so they're nice and clean. I've had all this disconnected, cleaned a lot of this, not all of it, but you see some of that's still filthy. Had that deck out. That deck is currently sat there on the floor, but yeah, there's a bit of yellow in here, but I mean, you're going to get a bit of yellow in, aren't you? So that's pretty much what I'm up to. I guess my next job is to take the board out and have a little look at the board, clean up the power supply a little bit and have a little look at that and see what voltages are coming out of that as well. It's all fun and games. So if we have a little look in there, we can see as the usual. This is standard Belfruit Scorpion 2 technology and battery leaks, and it always leaks exactly the same areas all around there. And it's probably taken a couple of those tracks out. So what my next job's going to be to do is take this off this tray, because it's still sat on its tray. Get it off its tray, and then it's going to be a case of me cleaning up that area and then reattaching any damaged traces. I'll be using IPA, be using a couple of them, and it clean this table at some point. But yeah, that's my next port of call. Okay, so we can see it a bit more clearly now. Quite a bit of acid around here. All these traces need... Now, the way to clean them up, something they usually break. They do often break these. The way to clean them up, so use isopropyl alcohol to clean the area up, but you also use, if I can show you, you use a fiberglass pencil, and what you do with that is it doesn't actually damage anything. What you do is you basically clean it. Well, clean it, you take all of the shit off the top end. What you may see is some of these tracks might just literally vanish. Anyway, that's all. That's the next job, is basically a clean up. So what I'll do is a bit of IPA over it, cotton bud, give it a bit of a clean. Once I've done the cotton budding and a bit of a clean, I will assess for damage, and then I'll get a multimeter onto it and then start buzzing out a couple of tracks and checking everything's buzzing. This will look a little bit different next time you guys see it. Alright, so the acid doesn't appear to have travelled too far. You have a look on there now. I'm going to start cleaning this up now. I've just literally used a bit of IPA on here, ripped the top of the all that's basically dead, and all that area needs then cleaning up, then buzzing. If you look at the back, so there's the back, that's the battery area there. You can see it's not come through to the back at all. It's nice and clean. Teddy's deciding he wants to talk to us. And then the battery itself. So this is what happens. It's probably the best thing you'll see in the entire video. Is this is what happens. Now blue ones. Teddy, enough, mate. He loves it. Loves having a bark. The blue ones don't seem to cause as much damage as the green. Don't ask me why. Don't know the ins and outs of it, but as you can see, it's fucked, but it's not totally destroyed the board. The reason you always lose audio on these, or you tend to lose audio on these, is that all this area around here is for your audio, and unfortunately that acid generally leaks down there. We've got away with this one a little bit. There's a lot of cleaning up to do, but we shall crack on and see if we can get it looking a little bit better. Okay, so you can't see a great deal, I can't actually show you, but this one here, so that track there, it buzzes all the way up and it comes through here and it buzzes, I think, into there, somewhere into there. And that's meant to buzz from there to there, and it does not. That one buzzes from here to here and it buzzes fine. And that one is meant to buzz from there to there and it also does not. So even though they look pretty good, there is breaks. So what I now need to do is I have to get solder iron out, and I'm going to suck the solder out of here. So I'll suck the solder out there, I'm going to suck the solder out there, I'm going to re-tin them all, and I'm going to put a trace in here and a trace in there. Cleaned all this up, this area, it looks okay. Going to give it a bit more of a clean, put a bit of solder down on here when it's clean, and then probably cover that over as well. So yeah, you can see it still sees a bit here and there, but it hasn't gone too far, this acid, but it has done damage. So there's the next job. So to naked eye looks good, but with a multimeter it ain't. You can see it a little bit clearer now. There you go, there's your break. Nice and clear, that one, and then just about see the break on that one there as well, there. So but to the naked eye look good, so all I'm going to do, like I said, is clean this area up, put some new traces in, tin it, and then it will be as good as it can be, or needs to be. Just show you, all I've done is applied a bit of heat, a bit of flux, and started re-tinning them, and some of these traces have just literally fallen to pieces, including one that was buzzing, and that one, look at that one there, it looks so clever. Might just be a bit of solder. But there you go, it goes to show, it looked, to the naked eye, looked great, but it's not taken anything at all to expose how bad it is. Anyway, next time you'll see this, it'll be looking a bit better, I hope. Right, okay, so after we've finished, still flux down here, I've got to clean all the flux up yet, but I've done every single one of those traces. I've spoken to the boss, the one man I actually answer to when it comes to repairing stuff, and that's Magic, who says they can carry, sound up, sound down, and a couple of other bits and pieces to do with the sound, these traces. He said, so it's potential this may run, but with dodgy sound. At the moment, we've not got anywhere near trying it in the machine. You can see I've managed to clip the top of that cap, which is annoying. But yeah, we're starting to get somewhere with at least cleaning it up, and I'm going to have to try and check all those traces further up, just in case any of those are ever so slightly damaged. I'll bring you back very quickly just to show you how simple the power supply actually is. It's got a couple of bridge rectifiers down at the bottom, connectors going in, the fuses, and then you've got the actual board. I've just had that apart. Had a quick look at the caps. Caps both look to be pretty solid. Doesn't look too bad other than the dust. There's just nothing to it. Very simple. We'll give all these a bit of a clean up, and then pop it back together, and then have a little look at it with the voltages and see what it's actually doing. And then, assuming I'm happy it's okay and it runs, it'll probably just go back into the machine. But yeah, there's just literally nothing to them. Show you, all I do with these is fiberglass pencil and just literally give them a clean all terminals, and you can see how much cleaner they all look. You see that's had a bit of damage. So I managed to get to the thing from the back. You can actually get to the thing from the inside at the back. Cheers, mate. Have a good bark at nothing again. And then I've got a few bell fruit trays in there, all empty. A few. There probably is a bit of chingle in the bottom somewhere knocking about. Random block of wood. Probably don't need that. Oh, what have we got here? Right. I mean, that's not out of this game. It's a random decal. It looks like it's out of a Cops and Robbers. Nothing else of any major note I don't see in there. But yeah. Random decal, obviously. She don't go in there, does she? The things you find, eh? Go in there. Something of actual use, only sadly partially of use, but half of the correct decal. So that for that there. So we got half of it. So I'm now only missing that, which shouldn't be too hard to source. Okay, so just a quick update. We have put the £6 decal in, and we've cleaned as much of that black off that was there with isopropyl alcohol, but it's even in front of the artwork there. But yeah, it's better. It's sorted as best I can get it off. So jobs left to do is to actually get this thing to boot up, and also then we're gonna, once we've done that, we're gonna take this out, and we're gonna get all of the damaged bits off, which is only a little bit, and then we're gonna paint it black. And that, hopefully we'll have some sort of a fruit machine. What else? So, should we show you the state of play with the machine? So, board's out, and we've had it. I'm going to take it back out in a minute. So let's just show you what is actually happening with this at the moment. PSU, I'm fairly happy. Okay, don't think there's a fault with it. Let's turn it on. So, Magic reliably informs me that's a reset fault. He says it's what's called watchdogging. So, plan of action now, to turn it back off again because it's not going to boot up, is I'm going to bypass a couple of transistors on the main board, and then I'm going to plug it in to see if I get anything out of it from there. So that's pretty much where we're up to at the moment. This can be made slightly more difficult by the fact that we don't have any Scorp 2 spares. I don't think I've got a Scorp 2 board. I might have one. I don't know. So we might be having to go on the cadge for bits off other machines or off other boards. I've got boards for everything else. Anyway, it's pretty much where we're at. I just thought I'd bring you back and kind of show you the situation now. A lot cleaner inside. This is all in sort of a few hours, really. Right, I'll try and show you what it does or wants to do. If it wants to do it, of course. Turn it on, my foot. This is morning after the night before. So it looks like it wants to boot, but that's all I get from it. So, next job's probably to look at the RAM. Okay, so to give you an idea of where we're at the moment, so we know we have a fault on the board, and that's one of the ICs I've already replaced. The first one I did, actually, to be fair. Now, that's the first one we did, and what we ended up getting out of it after it was we started getting a real shake. But we had the reset bypassed at that point. Now, we've done a bit of probing, because we've had the logic probe on it, and we've also had a multimeter on and metered a few voltages. Magic seems to think that IC1 is duff. IC1 is that one there. Not ID'd it yet. And it's pretty, to be fair, it's pretty dark. If you have a look on there, you can see writing and all the other stuff. You can't really see him writing on that, so it probably has been getting warm at some point. So that's coming off with the plan to swap it. The only problem with swapping it we've got at the moment is don't know what it is, and it's just got to be hopeful I've got the same IC on another board somewhere. So that's basically where we're up to. That has, like I said, that is progress to some extent, and I mean, well, we're on Monday night now. I got it on Saturday. I was at work on Sunday, and then went out for a curry Sunday night. Been at work all day today, come in and then straight onto this. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. He's given me a very easy 20 minutes to take that out, and honestly, my speed, it takes me about 2 minutes to get one out. And then we'll just have to see whether we can ID it and then replace it. If not, I might have to order one, which would be a bit annoying, but hopefully not. Anyway, I shall bring you back when we have some more updates. Okay, so without spoiling it too much for you, because there's a lot to tell, let's see what's happening now. And here there's no sound, because that should have made an alarm. We have life. Okay, we have definitely got some issues, however, most of it's salvageable or solvable. At the moment, there's probably a bit of a story to tell, so I'm going to tell the story. So after about 4 days worth of me and Magic on and off trying to sort out the issues with it and get it to a point where it'd do this, it'd boot up. Unfortunately, sorry, just pressing switching. So unfortunately, we got to the point with the board where we just couldn't figure it out between us, and he's like, send it to Scotland. Send it to me, let me sort it out. I need to get my scope onto it, something really untoward about it. And then I dropped asleep on Thursday night. When I dropped asleep on Thursday night, he dropped me a message, woke me up. And he said, I think I figured it out. Definitely figured it out. So, when we got this machine, it came with this game card. Okay, that's the game card it came with. Alright. I've got another revision of the game card here now. That's a slightly different revision. And then you've got the common one, which you'll see in there, which is like sort of a yellowy colour on front. Well, that one that's in. Anyway, so he said you've got the wrong game card. Now, obviously, you have to take a seller's word for it when they tell you something. Said it was working for a couple of hours, then it stopped. So, all right, fair enough. We'll take your word for it. 4 days of fucking about later, and a trip over to Ben's where I've been. So Saturday morning, dead on a week on from getting the machine. I've been over to Ben's this morning, or this lunchtime, because I sorted something for him out this morning, and came back with a second faulty Scorp 2. And yes, that is the original, which still doesn't work. So this is going to be a video somewhere, and it may be that it's just watchdogging because we haven't got in. This is to do with the sound, but it won't be up. So that's probably going to go up to Scotland at some point. However, the good news is we're in a position where we have now got a working machine to a point. I stood with 4 different glass sets for today at Ben's that I could have taken for this machine, and I stood with them and I went, they're all wrong, because all of them had blue 7s at £4, and I really want to have this on 6. That my intention's £6. whether it's cash tokens, whatever, it's £6 is what I want it on. That's my intention. And as you can see, we've got a machine on and it's happily playing away to itself in demo at the moment. Loads of bulbs out, loads of bits and pieces to do, but there's a little bit of light now at the end of a tunnel. We have got no sound, so sound is my next job on my list, is to try and get this to give me sound. Like I said, that board, fairly comfortable. We had sound. Now, if I remember, sound is controlled by those two, so we may end up harvesting those off there to put on there. We may do something different. Not entirely sure as yet, but we do have light at the end of a tunnel, which is good. And for everybody with these, by the way, I don't know if we've been through this area that I've repaired. I've done it on both boards, by the way. They do carry sound. So they are critical to the sound piece. Now, I've done them in this board as well. First thing I did with this board was that. So this is where we're at the moment. We have got some progress, albeit not the progress we expected. And it has been a bit of a fucker. Like, unfortunately, a lot of these are. They can be a bit of a nightmare to start with. Especially when you're not familiar with the tech. If it was an Impact, it'd been on by now and it'd been running, it'd been boring. You know, the reality of this is that this is me just sort of stretching myself, doing different techs and having a bit of fun whilst doing it, and that's where we're at the moment. Anyway, I'll bring you back when there's more updates. Once I've got the sound sorted and I've got this running, and we see we've got no nudge pot, I'm assuming that's meant to light up. Once we've got all this running and we've got this where it should be, my next intention or my next job with it will be to take that glass out. But as we stand right now, that's where we're at. At least there's been some sort of progress. And we've got flashing lights. Still got loads and loads of issues. We've still got quite a few issues. Still don't know why that doesn't work. They do work, but I now have sound, which is good. Obviously, we're in free play, so yeah, give me nudges that I really didn't want, thanks. No, it does work. That's actually great news. I think it did. I didn't think it worked. We're getting somewhere. We'll sort ROMs and all that crap. Update as to where we're at. There's good and there's bad. It's good as in, this is the situation. It's taking new pounds. I've not done the routing for it yet. The bad, if you watch the reels for long enough, they'll start to slip out in a bit. See, it's just about going there. Won't take it long. So yeah, it's trying and trying and trying. So what we have done tonight is we recapped the power supply. So the old caps, these big ass bad boys, these things, I've took these out and I've replaced them with newer caps, and yeah, we are essentially almost a working fruit machine. It needs the routing doing, so that needs to happen. The ROMs need desperately updating, by the way, because it's on 10p, £3 at the moment, which just won't sit with me. Still haven't dealt with that yet. A couple of people have said, yeah, I've got one somewhere. It's not happened yet, but maybe it will, maybe it won't. Need to do a couple of bulbs down here, and then this glass needs to come out. So there's light at the end of the tunnel with it, but it's just light at the end of the tunnel at the moment. Still a tunnel. Right, so just a quick update as to where we're at. Rebuild most of it, so it's been rebuilt now. It's running all cash ROMs. I have got an issue that I need to look at today, and then I'm going to have a look at this screen hopefully tomorrow, assuming this hasn't annoyed me. I don't know what setting it is for 20p, I'll get it on 20p at some point. But my reels are slipping out of place. Better not miss this on camera, though. Show a sonic screwdriver. Got a light up. That's the one. Do I use a TARDIS? Yeah, go on, sack it, who cares? Won't slow down for a super jackpot though, does it? Gave it anyway. There isn't enough money in it, and I haven't done the routing, so the money's falling into the bottom at the moment anyway. Say it's £6. So we nearly got a working machine. As you can see, reels are. See how they're a bit. Yeah. Anyway, as you can see, it's 10 at 20p. So that's where we're at. Anyway, that's where I'm at the moment with it. Not much room to swing the proverbial cat in here at the moment, I'm afraid. I've just got stuff absolutely everywhere, which I do need to tidy up because I'm going away on Monday. So if we have a look in here, so there is a key up there as well, so that key will need looking at. But yeah, my to-do job at the moment is to try and figure out why these reels end up bouncing out of sync. Especially when we've done the caps in the power supply, we know it's not the count, likely to be the power supply. Could be the reels themselves, although that wouldn't explain why they do it just randomly whenever they feel like it. There is an IC on the little reel boards in there, so it could be them, but Ben assures me he's had this fault before. It's been on the board. I have flipped out. U5 does have some control over the reels because you see the lines that come out of U5 go into here. It's possible it's something sat in that lot that's causing it. Or it could be the opto, so it could be something over here. At the moment, I don't actually know. Just going to multimeter it and try and figure it out for myself, I guess. Anyway, I'll update you on progress. Okay, so we've got the real opto inputs are here, so that's where the optos are going in. And if it's an opto issue, and not power related or motor related, it could be these caps. So C76 you can see has been swapped before. You can't even read 103 on C75, which will be probably reel 2. You can on a couple of the others and you can't on them. In fact, no, it'll be the other way around, won't it? That'll be 1. That'll be 1 there. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But anyway, see that one's been swapped regardless. So I feel like I probably, first port of call is to renew those. The sill pack there, I've checked that and everything's reading okay. So I'm assuming the sill pack is good. And where the reels come from is there. So U5, IC5, U5. It comes from there. Now I have swapped that out because I've got 2 boards here and it didn't fix the problem. And then if you can see where all these lines are coming out from, they're all heading into these resistors. You've got a diode paired with them next to them, and then they go into that row of transistors, and then they go into there. So I've had a quick look at the transistors. It seems to be reading okay in the main, although there's a bit of a sort of deviation between them, and you can't really tell till you've got them out. So probably going to start looking at replacing and renewing a few bits in this area and see if we can get it to go away, I guess. Okay, so whilst we don't dispute they weren't great and they needed doing, it's not made a blind bit of difference. You can see the reels just still sort of lose themselves. There you go. 1 doesn't seem to lose it. It's always 2 and 3. So I might just swap reels 1 and 2 round and see if the fault moves. Shout out as well here. So it's now done. The machine is actually fully done. Mr. P, Dave, he has had the exact same fault before. So I asked him while I was with him last week and said, what's the fix? And I have now got the fix, which I'll go into in a bit more detail when I sort of summarise the whole thing. But it's going to be quite a strange little video, really, of the fix, really, I guess. Now all it needs doing now is it needs a battery fly wiring onto the board so that it holds memory, because it doesn't hold memory at the moment, and it also needs routing plug doing, and then I've got a couple of bulbs here and there that I need to do, and then it's absolutely complete now. Then that machine is done, and my little artwork fix looks very good, doesn't it? Glass out, so I'm guessing that needs to come out through the middle. And I'm guessing that they need to probably come out the bottom as well. That one was already missing. I have just removed that one. So I'm going to take off that, and that, and hopefully that'll release the bottom glass for me. So we are out. And you can see straight away all that just needs removing. It hasn't flaked off and fallen off. Just going to flip it, hold on. So you can see where it's gone all there. Luckily, we've missed the police boxes in the main. Yeah, we lost a little chip out of that corner. We'll remove that little loose flaking piece. So really my first job's to kind of remove the flaking pieces. I'm just going to use, well, a brush, because some of it will just flake off, and potentially a knife. Now you can see it has started to go at the bottom there. I'll have a little look at that. Again, that's on the black. Reason I probably don't want to touch that as much is purely because you've got your exchanges and stuff down there, although they are all the way up here, so we might be able to get that as well. So that's the general state of play of the glass. The glass is not in particularly bad nick, it's just not in particularly great nick. When it's done, it'll be fine. It's the job now of doing it. Ironically, I only need to remove the 3 screws at the bottom to remove it, but anyway, doesn't matter. We'll rebuild it all. It doesn't take very long. Bring it back now. We've brushed it off what we can do with a brush. And you can see it's all come off there. That is just in between the reels. I'm probably going to just nip that off with a little bit of a knife. You can see that bit's just come off. I flaked off that bit there, so that's now all removed. I flaked off a little bit here, and then I've also taken the decision to do the bits at the bottom as well. So that is effectively where the glass is at the moment. It's just now going to be a case of firstly locating my acrylic paint, because I haven't got a clue where I've put it, and then painting it up. Worth showing you the difference. So that there is glass paint, that's black glass paint, and that is acrylic paint. You see how much thicker it is, by the way. Look at the state of all of the shards that have come off. And I've just put a little bit of the glass paint on there, and you can see you'd need a few coats or it'd just go all the way through. So I'll show you what acrylic paint looks like. Some acrylic paint on it now next to it. I'm just going to show you what that looks like in terms of the colour difference. Yeah, it's the same, or near enough identical. So that's why I use acrylic paint and not a glass paint. And then that's what it looks like on the front now. You can see the little bit that's not covered is actually the bit that's got the glass paint on. It's not gone black. I can show you from the other side as well. So it's really important when you do it that you actually physically go over any cracks, and you go over your edges as well. You don't want to go to the edge, you want to go a bit beyond the edge. And then so if you compare the bit that's still got a crack next to it to that now, you can see the difference. And I have to obviously sort that little area, that little patch out now, won't I? So I'm showing you there the front now. You can see where obviously the blue was missing altogether, and there's nothing I could do about that. So the dogs have decided to bark at nothing again. But you can see we've got a good covering. We will put a second coat on these, by the way, to make sure. And that's what the bottoms drying off like. I'm pretty much going to go up to that line, I think. I've made the decision that I'm going to do up to that line, and I'm going to do it all black all the way across. So we're on now as much as we can get on. I will just flip it, show you afterwards. And then that's the result. So I have left that bottom corner there because it's actually got the etchings of the number and stuff on there, so I've left that. This all obviously just needs just cleaning off. Bit of glass cleaner or a bit of malt vinegar, whichever you prefer to use, just to give that a clean off, because it is a bit dirty. But that's not bad, right? That's not bad. Listen, it'll never be perfect. Don't care how good you are, you'll never get it perfect. But what I've stopped happening, that shouldn't get worse again now. That should stay pretty decent. I've made a choice not to do around the edges of the win plan at the moment, although that might change. I don't know. It's not, you can't visibly see any damage, but I can see on the back. Yeah, maybe just see it's just peeled a little bit. You can't really see it, but then the top. Not bad for an amateur, eh? So that's how it looks. And it's, as I said, it was never going to be absolutely bang on perfect. But I mean, you'd have to be looking. So, next job is to make this thing have a memory. As you can see, around this area has been quite heavily destroyed. Okay, so the next job is to give this thing a memory. Now we can see here, so I've already buzzed one side to the other side, and if we turn it over, that then goes into there, and it buzzes to there, so we're good. And then, but on the other side here, you see how that doesn't go anywhere? It's meant to go into this ground plane here, and the problem I've got here is that if you look around there isn't actually anything to attach to, so I have to get a little bit creative around there just to make it attach. But yeah, they're my next jobs really, or my next job. I've just done the rebulbing. I've done the 2 bulbs that were out, so they're now done. And it's just a case of it's being ready to go. The dill switch that's causing me the issue with the reels was that one there, 3. Again, big shout out to Dave. Amazing that we both had exactly the same fault and we couldn't figure it out. Well, I didn't figure it out. It took him 5 hours, he said, to figure it out, and he did everything that I've done and a lot of stuff you'll see in the video. But he sorted it, so that's now done, which is brilliant because that's working. So yeah, when you're back, you'll have a memory. I have just taken a couple of pieces of cable just to attach to, and I'm just going to make this look as good as I can do. Really, that's kind of the next job. So I'll bring you back. Right, so that's attached, and then what I've done here, there's loads of ways of doing it. You can just attach directly to the ground plane, but to put a little bit of flux down, all I've done is split the wire, so half of it's going to go through the hole to there. Yeah, just needs a little tidy up, and then we're attached and we're good to go. So that's pretty much all I've done. All I'm going to do now is give us a little bit of clean up with a bit of IPA, and then I'm just going to cover over the bare copper. That's pretty much me done with that. This wasn't to make it look pretty. There's nothing to do make it look pretty. It's just to cover over any bare metal so you can't get shorts later on down the line, and also to stop things from moving. Needs a little bit more on there yet, but yeah, that's really all it's about. It's got nothing to do with aesthetics. It's just really to do with just getting as much of this covered up as I can do. So that's really what I'm doing. So all I've done here is I've buzzed to check that that's going into there, and I've buzzed, and you can see I've buzzed it into here as well, which is on the same side. So basically now all I've done here, a bit of flux down, and then a bit of solder on top of it, just marry up the two parts together, and then the same on the other side. Then I'll just get a bit of electrical tape and just wrap it around, and then we're done. We're good to go. Make sure it's really well covered as well with electrical tape, and that's complete now. I've had my cash pots. But yeah, one last little thing I guess is to have a quick go. So I haven't done the routing yet. That's the one thing I haven't done. Also, I haven't got that decal for it to make it fully 6, and you can see there's a little bit of black there. But yeah, I mean, this machine fully works. It's done. It's finished. Big shout out to Magic for all of his assists, especially with the first main board, which is going to go to his, and that'll be a video at his, and it'll also go with the game card, the Rogue game card, which we got with it. It's a bit annoying. It's good little machine now, and I won't keep this forever. That's me being dead honest about it. I will sell it. It will be available for sale at some point. It'll never be able to go on anything bigger than £6 jackpot. It can't go on anything bigger than 10p. I'll do that decal as well. I'll find a nicer decal for that because I've got loads. And I'll sort that out at some point. But they're very, very minor jobs. And I will do a gameplay video of it. And I will have a game playing it and enjoy it for a bit. But yeah, sadly it won't stay forever, partly because I've got no room. I genuinely don't have any room. I mean, there's literally 2 machines have gone up to Winters, and it just is what it is really. I haven't got the room for it, but I wanted to save it. I wanted to do a video. I wanted to stretch myself a bit, try another tech that don't really mess with Scope 2s. Still haven't fully mastered them, and it'll take me some time, but yeah, I mean, she's done. She's good. She's got a memory. All of the things that I wanted it to have, it's got, and it's very happily working now. And I've learnt something about the real motors. It genuinely drove me mad for about 2 days. And I was just sort of lucky really that I went to Dave's the time I did, and I had a conversation with him, and I remember he turned around to Amelia and he said, Amelia, do you remember that rebuild Dell's Millions that was driving me mad? And she went, yeah, I remember. And it happened to be the exact same fault. I mean, it's just one of them. Some people know the answers. Magic never came to me with the answer and said, yeah, it's definitely that. But we've got a working machine again, and it's a nice looking machine. I've sorted the artwork issues out, and as you can see, it's like I said, it's never going to be 1,000,000% perfect. It simply wouldn't be, but it's very good now. It's more than good enough for somebody to enjoy, and anybody who likes Doctor Who and whatever. There's a Doctor Who there, isn't there? So I'm glad I've done it. I've enjoyed fixing it. I've enjoyed learning. Recapping the power supply was easy enough. The power supplies themselves are dead simple. The main boards generally aren't as big a problem as that one. That one was just a dick, and it was made a dick by the last owner. And I think they tried different things in it, and they'd swap stuff around because they were ex-operators, and it obviously had no benefit to me when I got a machine, and it had the wrong parts in. And I'm very fortunate. Listen. Like, I helped Ben collect the sheer weight of parts that he's got. It's a lot of my driving to go and get them with him, and God, he's put some time in himself, some ridiculous time in. I'm very lucky that he'll give me a board, and he went, I'm sure that boots, and it did boot. It didn't have any sound. It needed the sound sorting out on it, but it wasn't surprised with where the corrosion was. And to be honest with you, if you'd have seen them 2 main boards next to each other, you genuinely wouldn't know there was 2. You wouldn't know that I got a second one because the corrosion was identical, in exactly the same place. And when you clean them up, they all look exactly the same pretty much anyhow. I've enjoyed doing it. It's been good fun. I'm glad it's over. And it's, I'm glad I've got a machine to have a play on, and you know, like I said, I'll have a bit of fun, I'll have a session on it at some point, and that'll go up on the YouTube as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope like 10 of you have found this semi-informative and enjoyed what I've done. I'm sure some people will have enjoyed what I did with the artwork. I know that's one thing that people go, how do you fix it? How do you fix it? I pick and choose my fights. It's as simple as that. I pick and choose my fights, and I've got experience of obviously doing exactly the same thing with a big breakfast. So, yeah, this one's done. Cheers for watching, guys.